What's up, everybody? I am DJ Kazzeo, and welcome to Talkin All That Kazz. Now, what is Talkin All That Kazz? Real quick, breaking it down, before I even get to that, let me tell you this. You want to know anything, you want to connect with me on social media, go to this address right here, www.djkazzeo.com, all right? All my stuff's up there. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff is up there, okay? Now, for 27 years, over 27 years, I've been hosting a weekly radio show here at 90.9 FM KHTC in Salinas, California. Every one of the shows I've ever done that's in my library is now online. You can go to this address right here, mixcloud.com/DJ_Kazzeo to hear all the shows, all the music, all the interviews, everything. Okay? Now, speaking of interviews, maybe you don't have the time to go to Mixcloud and listen to the full shows, because there's thousands of hours of stuff to listen to. If that's the case, this is what Talkin All That Kazz is for. I've isolated all the interviews, taken the interview clips, put them in video form, and I'm posting them up here on YouTube for you guys to check out in a shorter time, all right? So you can just go, pick out whatever interview you want to check out, and here it is, okay? So, without further ado, let's see what I got in store for you this time around. Yes, couple minutes past 7 o'clock right here. We are 90.9 FM KHTC Radio Bilingue in Santa Cruz, Monterey counties, 104.1 FM out in San Benito County.
And everywhere else on WednesdayRec.com. Was that too loud?
No, that was perfect, man.
Oh,
that was absolutely perfect.
Oh, okay.
That was absolutely perfect. Speaking of perfect, got my man Con on the phone. What's up, Con?
Yo, what's good? How y'all doing, man?
Man, we are we're here trying to make sense of the senseless.
Yeah.
You know, what's going on with you, man? How are you doing tonight?
I'm chilling, man. I got a lot of time on my hands, though, because trying to stay inside and stay creative, you know?
Yes.
Writing songs and things like that, sipping tea and whatnot.
You were just on the Saturday sesh, too, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Making his rounds.
MXDF.
He's in full promo mode because
right. Yep.
Well, as much as we can do, you know, I mean, it's kind of weird. Like, I would love to be in the station, right? But
of course,
got to keep pushing somehow.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, we understand.
You know, pulling the curtain back, we had planned to have Con in studio, and he wanted to actually freestyle for a little bit. And I was trying to get him to also do a song in studio. So hopefully, at a later date, when all this nonsense is cleared up, we can make that happen. But you know, speaking of, obviously the album Code Switching is available now. You know, when you release a project like this and you're an independent artist, and then all of a sudden, basically, you know, all the I mean, not all, but like the majority of the plans to do promotion for it go out the window. I mean, how does that affect your mind state? Are you depressed? Are you still inspired? I mean, what's the deal?
That's a great question. I mean, I think I'm still inspired, man. I'm still going. Luckily we were able to still at least do our release party. Thanks for showing up to that too.
Absolutely.
And you know, that was really cool. What's interesting is I feel like, given all the extra time people have, they actually have more time to check out the music, and there's been a great response to it. You know, it's been a lot of folks purchasing it, getting a physical CD, and part of me wonders if it's like because people are sitting around at home with less things to do. You know, so I feel like people are still showing support. But what is missing is that in person. You know, we had to cancel a few shows in March and everything, and it was a bummer. You know, we're gonna have some cool things going on, and that's definitely a blow. But we keep it creative. You know, different ideas.
Well,
connect it digitally as much as we can.
You know, speaking of that digitally, I mean, are you since you know some of the March shows and April shows obviously have to be canceled, are there any plans to maybe do like a just like an online show, like if you went on Instagram and just did like a performance and like let people check it out.
Yeah, I've thought about it here and there, For me, it's just a little weird though, because personally, like, I just really like the in-person thing. It's just if I'm gonna do something online, I want to make sure I have some like real visual elements to it, because otherwise, it's just, for me, it's just not the same,
Right.
As being there in a show with the people, I really don't see a replacement for that. I've always felt that. Like I never like had a Facebook. I never felt like that was a way to really connect with people. So that's just me personally, I guess.
That's an interesting.
Props to everyone doing that, though. I'm not even hating, not even trying to hate. Because again, you gotta stay connected. And I've seen some cool things out there, actually. A lot of dope DJ sets and things like that. Peep out right now.
It's an interesting perspective, because I've seen other people your age also have the same perspective, where I mean, to me, it's like if you're an independent artist and you're putting something out to promote, any free platform that you can use is vital to me, and that's coming from old school mentality. Like anything you can use it, and I like I said, I've seen people your age group kind of have that impression where it's like, I'm only going to use Instagram. I'm not going to bother with Twitter. I'm not going to bother with Facebook. Why do you think that, either of those platforms are any less than Instagram?
For me, it's just too many things to manage. That's really what it comes down to. You know what I mean? Like, I keep it simple. I stick to like one platform, like Instagram, and then I got all my music out on all the streaming platforms. But you're right. I don't have a Twitter account, and I don't have Facebook. A lot of people have Facebook. It's useful for a lot of things. I don't know. I'm just not into it.
Yeah, because it kind of lets you see, when you have a major label, like when you're signed to a major label, they have a department that has all those bases covered. When you go independent, you kind of see like how much work really goes into covering all platforms. And unfortunately, like with being independent, yeah, it's more hands-on and you're more in control of things, but you also end up in some areas letting stuff slip through that would benefit you if you were able to utilize them.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you mentioned that, actually, because since the quarantine thing, or not quarantine, but the little shelter-in-place situation, I have found that I got more time to just sit down and straighten out my different streaming, like my profiles on the different streaming platforms and things like that. I'm just able to clean things up online and keep digital promotion locked in a little better. But again, like, I don't really, in my day-to-day life, I don't have a lot of time for that, just being super busy. So, it's like you need like a social media manager or something at that point.
You absolutely do. You absolutely do. And I think one of our friends has a social media manager that she calls a boyfriend. Because I'm pretty sure he's in control of all of those. But hey, man, so before we continue on with this conversation, let's play a little something off the Code Switching album. Talk to me about the track "School."
Word. So this is a really dope track off the album. I'm really proud of it. It's a track that features Master Ace and my homie Nexus. And basically, the concept is school. It's balancing street smarts, book smarts, and it was a very exciting collaboration. I laid the scratches on that track, and I'll talk a little bit more about it after you play it, maybe. Yeah, absolutely, man. Because I know there's an interesting story on how this came to be. So let's get into that when we come back. But let's jump into "School" right now. This is Khan featuring Nexus and Master Ace off the Code Switching album. As I said, this one's called "School." Check it out. 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 Once again, that right there, Khan featuring Nexus
and Master Ace. That one's called School. Good work there, my friend. Good work.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah, definitely proud of that track. Shout out to Space Cadet who produced the beat, and I laid the scratches on there. I sampled this Poor Righteous Teacher's record that I have. And that track was hello. You guys
Yeah. We're here. We're here.
Okay, good show. Yeah, that track was a blessing, man. Actually got to work with Master Ace in the studio on that one. They came out here to do a show.
Mm-hmm.
They were doing a show at like Sonoma State, the university over there.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So yeah, they came out to do a show there, and I talked to one of the producers on the album. He was connected to the person putting the show on. So I said, hey, you think we could get Master Ace down to Central Coast, while they're in the area, because it doesn't happen too much. Just trying to see if we could get a show going. And he said, nah, because they were just going to be in town for that one day. Like, they were just flying out, doing the show, and then going back. Very next day, it was him and Marco Polo, actually.
Right.
And they, they were like, yeah, they're just going to be in town for that one day. But maybe I'll hit them up and see if they want to collab or do a feature or something like that. And I wasn't really expecting that, so it was kind of just like thrown at me. And I had to take the opportunity, you know what I mean? It was like, it was just waiting there for me.
Yeah, you can't pass that up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, definitely not. So it was an honor, it was really cool. I got to email with Master Ace, just talking about topics, and sent him a few beats and some recordings of some things. And then we settled on a beat and the concept. And what was cool is we linked up in the studio. The homie arranged a studio session out there in like Santa Rosa or somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like a home studio. Shout out to Rhino. He was running that studio. And yeah, we met up right there. Like, Master Ace came through right after he got off the plane, he just went straight to the studio. It was really cool to see someone grind like that, just like making the most of this trip out here, and sliding through and doing a song, and then pretty much going straight to do a mic check, right after that. I was just like,
nice.
I was just, honored. Got to chat. It's pretty dope.
So, like, when you have that song, who, how do you go about deciding like who goes where? Like, was it always like, was Ace's thing like, okay, I go first, or did he leave that up to you, or?
He totally left that up to us, yeah. But when we heard his verse, it just felt like the right one to go first. So we definitely threw it on first. I guess I made that decision ultimately. But yeah, it felt right. Yeah.
Nice. So it sounds like this could possibly open up some doors for you as far as maybe having a not saying that you need guests, but you think that maybe brought you, or more so, connections for Con? Are we seeing something like that?
Well, one thing I saw like recently, the track got put on a Spotify playlist with all kinds of dope artists on it, all kinds of legendary things. That was kind of cool to see, It's kind of got a little bit of movement on its own because of that. But I don't know, you never know where the track will go. I'm just really blessed that it happened at all, you know what I mean? And so it's out there. I highly recommend people go check it out. Thanks for playing it on air.
Of course.
Yeah, Ace killed his track. It was his verse. It was just it was just like the perfect glue, to the track.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just cool to have him actually pick the beat too, and the topic. Yeah, my homie Space Cadet is very lucky for that.
When you're planning out the album, was it a predetermined thought on your part that like, okay, I'm gonna do a song with 1 a.m., or was that something just happened?
The 1 a.m. track?
Yeah.
I definitely, like, I had like goals for the album, right? Some kind of like a list that I would check off, and you know, in my head it was definitely like, yo, I gotta have 1 a.m. on my next album because we've been working together so much, and I really dig her music, and it just, you know, it was just only natural that we work together at this point, or you know, again. So yeah, she's put me on one of her projects, or two of her projects. So it was only like, you know, I just felt like I was trying to give that love back, and yeah, definitely needed 1 a.m. on that album for sure.
Yeah, man. The track Too Many Parents, one of the highlights of the Code Switching album. As is Lost Souls, which we're going to jump into in a second here, before we let you go. But before that, I wanted to open the floor. I mean, I know you're a very well thought out guy as far as like things that are going on in the world. So we've got a couple minutes here. Anything on your mind you want to get into?
Well, well, I know, like, you know, it's crazy what's going on in the world right now. What's going on with this pandemic situation. You know, I think that there's a lot of fear and everything going on, but just try to appreciate, you know, people who are most vulnerable in this situation, I guess is what I would say. You know, people who got to go to work, people who are doing essential services, folks who are incarcerated right now, you know, like they literally can't even have the privilege of doing any kind of distancing or even, you know, have supplies and things that they need to stay safe in this situation. And yeah, it's wild, you know. It's wild that we're going through this. It's a very weird time right now. It's a very weird year. You know, it's an election year and everything too. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, definitely, you know, to your point about the inmates and those that are, you know, locked up. What are your thoughts on some of the lower level people that are lower level offenders that were getting released so they could make more room in the facilities in order to practice the social distancing?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the least they could do. You know, that's the least they could do.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's only right.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Decarcerate for sure. It's crazy because like they've suspended hearings and things like that, so people are kind of like trapped in a loop, and you know, they shouldn't even be doing time. So there's a whole lot of people in that situation.
What about the whole like class now that like aren't going to be able to graduate?
Yeah, I think that's a trip too. I feel like things are really scattered. Like there's no, you know, there's not a lot of things telling us, you know, or a place. There's not really a place to go that's like gonna let you know how to navigate through this time. People are just having to figure it out, and their futures are being told to them. And I think that's going to be costly. I think there's probably going to be a lot of folks who won't make it, you know, to the completion of their degrees or finishing school because of this. Like I work in alternative schools and continuation schools, high schools specifically, and so this is a crucial time of year. Students got to earn their credits and get that high school diploma. And what's going on right now with this distance learning, which might work for some privileged populations, it's really very difficult for young people who, you know, have different lives. You know what I mean? Right now, a lot of kids are just checked out from school completely altogether because they don't have the kind of support, you know, at home to be connected to school in that way. You know, whether it be access to technology and the internet, or just a safe place at home, or, you know, for those students, it's really crucial that they they have a school, a place to be, to do their thing, you know,
well, you know,
and their credits and graduate.
I gotta back it up here a second because you kind of threw me off with something you said right there. So you're saying that the ability to practice social distancing correctly is based upon your income level?
Well, not quite that. I mean, specifically in terms of getting an education at this time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Social learning, like the distance learning, you mean?
Yeah.
There we go. I know what it is. Like
Yeah,
getting
that's
on
what
the video, getting in the internet and stuff like that.
So
and having it structured, you know what I mean? That's another important thing.
So that kind of leads to the fact that basically we're in a society now where comprehension is taught primarily through visual than it is audio.
What do you mean?
Well, it seems like yourself and VDog are saying that in order to properly learn social distancing, you have to social learning. Well, I thought we were talking about distancing.
No, I took it as, it might be a misunderstanding here, but I took it as getting the education, social learning.
Oh, okay, I thought we were talking about distancing. Okay, that's my bad.
So as we have to practice the distancing, right, by closing schools.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is, if you want to still be involved in your educational process, right? It's basically it's more of a how do I put this? Students are a lot of students are just checking out right now and taking this as a break, right?
Mm-hmm.
When really it's an option that's there for them, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's an option for them to choose to check in, but a lot of students, for various reasons, choose not to check in right now.
Do you think the overwhelmingly primary blame for that is the parents' inability to interact with the kids correctly?
I mean, that's a piece of it, but it definitely gets more into the structure of our society, I would say, as well. But yeah, definitely that's one big piece of it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a struggle for teachers in alternative schools specifically. I know.
Yeah. Right.
To get students to keep up with their work, and earn their credit.
Well, we definitely could sit here all night giving lectures back and forth, but we got to get into the next track. This is actually the first single off the album. This one's called Lost Souls, featuring Equipto and Nexus. Before I let you go, man, how can people catch up with Khan online?
Yeah, so you can follow me on Instagram at jkhan, that's JKHAN_though.
Mm-hmm.
Or, if you don't like social media, you can visit my website, khan209.bandcamp.com. It's got all my music and things like that. All my music is available for streaming on all those platforms, or tune in to Wednesday Rec or Saturday Stash, right?
There you go. See,
Mm-hmm.
See, he knows he knows he knows how to grease the wheel right there. Good stuff, man. Hey, Khan, man, I really appreciate you taking the time to call in tonight. We definitely want to have you in studio once all this madness gets settled, and
love to connect, yes.
Make sure get out there and support Code Switching. It's available now on Amazon, iTunes, all that good stuff. Do I sound too old of a guy when I say iTunes? Am I supposed to say Apple Music?
I don't know, man. I don't use either of those, to be honest.
Wow.
I keep the music up there for everyone who needs to, but
I have Apple Music. So.
Hey, man, you got to pay the bills, man. You got to put it up where you can, man.
Indeed.
All right, man. So I'm going to let you go. But again, man, thanks for calling in tonight. We'll talk to you soon. All right?
All right, for sure. Peace.
Peace.